All right, good day, and welcome to the Real Estate Action Homebuyer Seminar. Today we're going to talk about the opportunities in investing in real estate as a first-time homebuyer or possibly moving up to your second home. And we'll also be discussing the opportunities that are out there for investing in real estate today. On our panel is myself, Rick Dubord. I'm president of Home Life Realty Services, and to my left is Ainsley Beatty. She's with Global Mortgage, a mortgage broker. And swinging over to my right, we have two sales representatives from Home Life Benchmark Realty, Mark Donovan and Devin Rogers. A little bit of background on myself. I've been in the real estate industry for over 30 years. You can probably tell by the gray hair. Primarily I've been involved in the brokerage industry. I do have a passion for technology and was responsible for starting up a number of technology companies, including C Virtual. And along the way of my real estate career, I've done a good deal of investing, and I'm going to share some of my experiences with you this morning. Headlines. You've probably seen these headlines over the past 30 years, depending on how old you are. But realtors are prowling like hungry tigers. Sales are off by 43%. Vancouver prices will not be seen in this decade. There is no financing for anyone. Does it sound familiar? Well, when was that? That was in 1974. And the average selling price at that time was $54,000. Interestingly enough, in 1974 I actually purchased my first principal residence in South Langley in the Brookswood area on 43rd Avenue. I paid $53,000 for the home, and during that same year I was involved in sales and actually sold 3 lots in the Langley area for $3,500. So it gives you an idea. You could purchase a home for $53,000, and that was a 1,200 square foot home with a basement on a quarter-acre lot, which was on a septic field in the Brookswood area of South Langley. June 2004, the property ended up selling for $374,000, and then in October of 2008, it subsequently sold for $515,000. In 1974, if you recall, if you're around then, the NDP government had just come into power, and David Barrett had taken the reins as a premier and introduced the Agricultural Land Reserve. Our interest rates were up at 14%, and when I first got involved in the industry, I was advised by some of the senior salespeople that it was a difficult time to get in and that sales just were not happening. Along the way, as I mentioned earlier, I have done a certain amount of investment, and a fourplex that I purchased back in January of 2002, I paid $367,000 for it, and then subsequently sold it July of 2005 for $545,000 and realized just about $200,000 in profit. I was in a position to obviously realize all of that because the government took their portion of it. And then the owners subsequently ended up selling that property for $635,000, and that was in April of 2009. And then back in June of 2000, I purchased a number of units in a property in a building called Grandview up on 134th Street, a condo, 1-bedroom. The average square footage was about 740 square feet. Well, back in June I paid $49,000 for it, but I should make mention that those same units, when the building was new back in 1996, they were selling for around $100,000 level. And what happened between that period of time to June of 2000, we went through the leaky condo, which you can probably remember, and also times were pretty tough then. The economy was not all that great, and prices did come off substantially. Those same units I still have today. I own them. I'm averaging about $780 per month per unit, and that's income that I'll have for certainly for my time, and then I'll be able to pass them on to my family. Just a wonderful investment to be able to buy something like that and to be able to rent them out. Those same units in that building, similar units, in February of '08 sold for $208,000. And then in January of '09, that same unit sold for $169,500. So you can see where the prices have come off over the last little while, going from $208 down to $169,500. A little bit about the Greater Vancouver area. One thing about Greater Vancouver, it's a very popular area. According to the international surveys that they conduct each year, Vancouver, the Greater Vancouver area, is always in the top 10, and recently is in the top 3 categories. And they take into consideration natural amenities, climate, education, the politics, employment, and security. So very popular place, Vancouver, on an international basis. And as we know, pricing is always predicated by supply and demand. And it's kind of interesting, in the Greater Vancouver area, we have a corridor that extends out to the Chilliwack area, and of course that corridor is surrounded by the mountains, the water, and then of course we have the agricultural land reserve. So we have a limited amount of real estate in the Greater Vancouver area when you compare it to, say, the prairies or the Ontario market, where they have unlimited supply of real estate. So it's a great place to live. It's a priority for a lot of people to live here, and yet there's a limited amount of real estate. And today's opportunity, our unemployment is at 7%, but when you take into consideration the second generation welfare recipients, that makes up 4%. So really, there's only 3% of people that want to work that are unemployed. Prices are off 25 to 30%, and when you take into consideration that the prices are off, and it's kind of an interesting phenomenon. People are not so keen to buy when prices are coming off, when prices are on the way down, but everybody jumps on board when the prices are going up, and they wait in line and eliminate the opportunity to do some cherry picking where you can get out and really get the good buys. The prices are off now 25 to 30%, and interest rates, we're at an all-time low for rates. You can get a 10-year mortgage at 4.7%, and where else can you invest in an investment that's going to give you that security over a 10-year period? There's a great selection of properties out there. We've got record-breaking times for properties, so a good time, really a great time to go out and purchase when you take everything into consideration. And now what we're going to do is we're going to focus on the financing and what's required, some of the financing packages that are available for us. And to do that, I'm going to turn things over to Ainsley.